little yarnivores and spiderettes, Fiber Spider, back again with another review unboxing kind of video just for you. And you may be wondering what this is. Well, and you may be also be wondering why I'm on the floor. Well, that way I could show you the full effect of what I have here to show. This is called the Cricut Loom by the same company that did the Zoom loom. It's called Schacht. And I got the weaving bug, as it were. So I decided to take things up a little notch and to try weaving with a rigid Heddle loom. That's what this is called, a rigid Heddle loom. And because this is the rigid, the rigid Heddle aspect of the loom, absolutely love this thus far, and I'm going to go into all the little ins and outs. Okay, so bear with me and my ridiculous camera work while I show you what this is all about. Alrighty. Alrighty, so this is the Cricut Rigid Heddle Loom. Bit better of an angle here. Now, basically, this loom, instead of working on a confined pinning structure like the pin looms, this enables you to create a fabric, a 1x1 weave of fabric, in this entire width. Basically, the strands of yarn go through these slots and through these holes, and when it is in the up position, it separates the strands because some of the strands will be pushed down and the other ones in the holes will remain up high. Then when you go down, the exact opposite happens. So it separates the threads for you so that you don't have to weave over, under, over, and under, over, under with a needle and a thread, which, you know, really, really helps. That's the basic idea. Now, the yarn initially attaches in the back onto this apron rod, and you thread it through the reed, okay? This is an 8-dent reed, and basically what that means is the thickness of yarn that you would use for this particular gauge of reed would be a worsted weight yarn. And I'm going to show you what I made with it already. So this works with a worsted weight yarn. There are bigger and smaller sizes if you want to go really, really fine, or if you want to go bigger. And then, so like I said, you start by attaching the yarn to this apron rod, going through the reed, through the heddle, and then attaching it to this apron rod. And you do your weaving in this space here. And there are, over on this side, little locks that make sure that your work stays nice and tight. Basically, you just advance, and it can't go the other way unless if you unlock it. You know, really great, solid construction. And I should know because I built this. It came unassembled, but with the instructions, I was able to put it together in less than an hour, believe it or not. It also comes with these clamps, which means that you can clamp it to your table. Also, it comes with this peg, which is called a warping peg, and this enables you to clamp this to a distance away while your loom is clamped to the table, and you can wrap your yarn around the peg and create a really long warp strand. The strands that are the length of the piece are warp strands, and the horizontal strands going this way that you're actually weaving with a weaving stick. Is that what it's called exactly? I'm still learning. It is a stick shuttle, excuse me. So you have all of your yarn on this stick shuttle, and that way you don't have to keep changing your yarn. You can have quite a bit on here. And it also came with these two 100% wool skeins of yarn, which I haven't used yet. And also, of course, a hook, which enables you to thread through these slots. You know, it's absolutely great. I do love it. So I'm going to go into a little bit more. Okay. All right, so that is a very, very rough going over of the loom itself. I really love it. I do. And like I said, it took me roughly, I want to say about a half an hour to an hour to actually put it together. All you need is a Phillips head screwdriver, a paper clip, you know, maybe some beeswax, which I didn't really need. That's to help screwing the screws in. Maybe a hammer. I didn't need that either. If I can put this thing together, I'm sure you guys can too. Now, here's the really fun part. After putting this together, I went crazy. And, well, I know that's a stretch, right? I went absolutely crazy, and I made my first piece. Yes, in one solid go, I went nuts. And believe it or not, this is Red Heart Super Saver. You know, I know that I sometimes tend to knock Red Heart because of its quality, but the price is right. And this, I am amazed at how this turned out. I really am. I started on this end here, and I thought it would be fun to try something different. Now, the green in here, that is the warp strands, and so I continued on, and then I'm like, let's add some charcoal gray. And then I just kept going, making some stripes, and I went back, and now my edges, I know my edges are not brilliant, and where I started some new colors, you know, you got the little tiny ends sticking out. I'm still learning, but considering that this is my first attempt, I'm quite pleased, you know, and got your little tassely bits here. I'm rather pleased with myself, considering that this was my first attempt, and all I did was watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos, particularly by a YouTuber. I believe her name is Kelly Casanova, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure. Watched a ton of videos on a number of different YouTubers, and also I did a lot of research as far as would this be a good loom for me? Well, the width, you know, I think it's a good width as far as how wide you can make your projects. This is 15 inches. They also have a 10-inch loom, same product, but it's only 10 inches. I'm happy with this. You know, this will do, you know, for now, for me. They also, like I said, they have other rigid heddles with different reed sizes, so you can go up or down in your yarn thickness, which I like. And because this, you can change this really easy. You could get another one, you can pop another one in, no problem. So I like the versatility aspect of that. And there are tons of different weaves. You know, this was a simple weave, just incorporating, you know, some different colors as I went to create stripes. This entire project took me a total of about 10 hours of solid work. No joke. But I'm very pleased with the results, and I washed it, I dried it. It's got a great fluidity, and you know, I already got compliments on it at work. I'm all flattered and tickled pink. I'm pleased with it. I know, I'm gushing. And then today I decided to try an experiment. So I decided to try to make a little bookmark, and this is using Lion brand ice cream. And the warp strands are the same yarn as the weaving strands. And absolutely love it. Now, the difference is that that reed is supposed to be used specifically for worsted weight yarn. Now, you can see how there is the warp strands, the green is visible, okay? With this example, they are not. And the reason why is because the yarn is too small for the actual gauge reed. So you don't see those warp strands going vertically, okay? There are, as I've said, again, there are other reed sizes, so I could conceivably do a proper piece, but I really wanted to experiment to see, can I do it? And now I've got a little bookmark. Certainly beats a receipt or a scrap of paper. I'm very pleased. And of course, also, you're not limited to just strips. You can cut the cloth and you can sew it to other pieces of cloth using the zigzag stitch on a sewing machine. I don't know if you can hand sew, probably can. I'm just learning. I'm a total novice as far as this is concerned, but I'm excited. And don't be alarmed. I still plan on doing knitting and crocheting, but this is another facet. Now, I've been going on and on and on about this loom, but I never said the price. Now, there are some looms that are floor looms. They look like pianos. They even have pedals to control the heddles. Those are really expensive. They take up a whole room. There are other ones that take up an entire table. This one, it's very portable. It's very lightweight, no issue on the weight. And this only cost me, I want to say it was about 180. I think it was like 178, 180, roughly speaking, at the time of purchase. And yes, I do have Amazon Prime, so that might have been a factor as far as, shipping and so forth. I think that was a very reasonable price for this, me personally. I'm very pleased with the overall construction of it. Yes, you have to put it together, but it was very easy to put together, and I think that this is going to last. I'm not disappointed. It was very easy to operate. The instructions were easy to follow. There are also, like I said, tons of tutorials on YouTube on how to get started, how to do the warping of the strands, how to do some basic weaving, and you can get really complicated with the different stitching. It's very versatile. So I give it a big thumbs up. If you are in the market for a more advanced loom, you could certainly do a lot worse. Price-wise, quality-wise, you could do a lot worse. I have also seen some tapestry looms, which are basically, it's a frame with nails or slots in the top and the bottom, and you hand string it like that, and then you just have these big strands, but you still have to go over, under, over, under, over, under. This saves you a lot of grief because it does the shifting of the 2 layers of threads for you, no problem. So would I be able to do a project like this in that much time? Knitting? No. Crocheting? Maybe. But considering the weave of the fabric, there's no way that I could do this knitting in so little time as I did with this loom. So it is a bit of a labor saver, Now, granted, keep in mind that every one of these rows was me changing the position, running the yarn through with the shuttle, changing the position, running the yarn through with the shuttle. It's a lot of repetition. It takes a long time and a lot of repetition, and it does take some practice, but you can see the results, So enough of my gushing, because I give this a big thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, what have you, please do so in the comment section down below. If you found this at all informative, please, hit the little thumbs up, and if you're interested in seeing more of this sort of thing as far as how to use it, how to do the warping, perhaps that can be arranged. It's a lot of fun, and I entirely recommend it, If not this particular loom. I suggest weaving in general. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm going to be doing my other videos, of course, but I thought this would be a fun little thing to branch out onto. And also, one last thing, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so, because I try to post as often as I can, and that way you'll be in the know. So, until next time, I want you all to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and stay stitching/weaving. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.